So we're looking at brain functioning. I'm going to be attaching quite a number of documents to this session because I really want you to start to understand the anatomy of the brain and the different parts of the brain that are actually caught up in this area of sex addiction. So as we look at some of the diagrams, you'll see that the labels about the different structures of the brain, it will talk about the frontal lobe, cerebral cortex, this part of the brain, the logical, reasoning, thinking part of the brain, makes rational decisions. Other parts of the brain structure, I often have referred to it, the limbic system, very much the area of the brain where the emotions, the feelings, the sensations are being triggered. The middle towards the back, the limbic system. You'll see it in the diagram. But what's really interesting and you need to understand is so much of your decisions are being taken from the limbic system in terms of the emotions. How I feel, how you feel is driving the decisions that you are taking. But of course, your decisions are being taken based upon those emotions of just feelings. But we were given 5 senses to survey the situation around us in order to make good decisions. But a lot of those are shut down. The logical cerebral cortex area. As soon as the powerful biochemicals, neurochemicals, dopamine, oxytocin are drip feeding and flowing into the relevant parts of the brain, it's taking offline this logical, reasoning, thinking part of the brain, the frontal lobe, and so you're left making decisions from the limbic system, which is, it feels so good, it feels so nice. And then when I call it I don't always mean it as a pun, but I guess it really is, when the bubble bursts, when the ejaculation takes place, very quickly, the cerebral cortex, the frontal lobe, the logical reasoning part of the brain, comes back online. And that's when shame, guilt kicks in, regret. And of course, you find yourself wondering, asking yourself some questions. Why did I do that? I don't understand. I was determined not to act out again. Why did I do that? Look at the cost, the price that I'm paying for doing this. Why? But you're asking a why question, a logical question, to the logical part of the brain, but it can't answer the question, can it? Because it was actually offline at the time of the acting out. And so you're asking logical questions of the logical brain, which was offline at the time you were making decisions from the limbic part of the brain, the emotional, feeling part of the brain. So the diagram that I've attached to this session, it talks about threat to the brain. It shows you the frontal cortex, which analyzes, problem solves, so you can learn from experiences as long as it stays online. And the whole point of so much of this recovery program is to keep this logical reasoning part of the brain online to better help you make better choices and reasoned decisions. That limbic system or emotional brain perceives and reacts to threat. So it's also there in situations of trauma. The reptilian brain, very much older part of the brain stem coming downwards, controls our instincts, responses and functions. Something called the amygdala is the fire alarm, emotional memory center. All of these structures, I've just thrown out the names because I'm going to read more about them in the articles that I'm going to take you through, but I've just thrown these out. All around trauma is what these different structures of the brain are also caught up with. But of course, don't look at trauma as this massive, big thing that happens in your life. Think about trauma as stress, tension, anxiety, upset. Takes the body out of equilibrium. You've lost homeostasis. So the brain is being triggered to go into fight, flight, freeze to help you get back equilibrium, homeostasis. Remember we talked about that previously? It's there to help you, to protect you. But of course, one of the coping strategies that you've learned probably back in childhood and kept repeating throughout life was how to make yourself feel better, how to self-soothe, using inappropriate practices to manage your emotions. Single, but want to better understand why? Preparing for marriage and want to give it your best shot. Perhaps you're in a partnership, a couple, and want to address some issues. Maybe it's a marriage, but it just ain't working too well. Are you a couple, but know it could be better? Consider a diagnosis, a form of MOT for the relationship. Want to limit passing on the stuff to the children? Because we know that childhood development really does impact the shaping of us and how we go on to do adult life. Want to maximize the quality of your relationship? Perhaps communication just definitely is not working well. Conflict needs managing, needs resolving. Sex, the first casualty when there is conflict, may be something of a sense of a mismatch, but there are definitely some problems in sex. Maybe you're long time married and you've settled, but you know you haven't settled for good enough. Consider the Kairos Center video on demand program. In that program, you'll cover a lot of topics from A to Z, and you can do it in the comfort of your own home at your leisure, and have some periodical homework review sessions with me from time to time at your leisure. Maybe you would prefer secure webcam where one of you or both of you come for maybe weekly sessions. There's something for everyone in the Kairos relationship program. Contact me today. Whether you're in a partnership, a marriage, these things are true. Marriage is not the coming together of two people. It's actually a clash of two cultures, two experiences, two memories, two habits, two morals, two values. And that is a formulation for destruction, says Dr. Miles Monroe. Also, Dr. Creflo Dollar has said, marriage is the place of our healing. Don't leave it too quickly. And if I add a little bit extra to that, you're destined to repeat the problem. So why not work through this partnership in order to address the issues, which is more about me than the other person, and then make an informed decision about what you do for the future of the relationship. Send me a message. It's time to get your quality of life and relationship back on a proper footing.